Member for Surrey Newton.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker, and it is a pleasure, and I'm really happy to stand and speak in favor of Bill 38. Mr. Speaker, I'm happy because I think this was the idea that was researched, worked on, worked hard, I might add, by members of the opposition, in particular a member from Vancouver Kingsway, working with the member from Victoria Beacon Hill, who introduced this bill, or almost word for word. The bill was introduced, a bill under the name of M219 this past spring in 2015. I'm happy that the government has adopted those ideas. I think this just shows that working together, you can achieve something because no one has a monopoly on good ideas. Mr. Speaker, sometimes some members of this House feel that they do, but no, good ideas could come from any place, and this is an example. The idea that was researched and brought forward in this House by the member from Victoria Beacon Hill. Like I said, you could actually compare the notes of that bill and the purpose behind that bill, M219, and the bill that we are debating today, almost word for word is the same. The bill, essentially what this bill does is confirm the duty of fair dealing of parties to a franchise agreement and provide for remedy in the event of a breach of that duty. Confirm a franchisee's right of association and provide for remedies in the event of the infringement of that right. Require the disclosure by a franchisor to a prospective franchisee of financial information and other relevant information about a franchise or the franchise system before the prospective franchisee enter into franchise agreement. Provide conditions for rescinding a franchise agreement. Provide circumstances in which there may be liability for damages, and prevent the waiver of the application of the law of British Columbia or in the event of claim or dispute under a franchise agreement of the restriction of jurisdiction or venue to a forum outside of British Columbia or proceeding in relation to the claim or dispute. Essentially, the elements of M217, Mr. Speaker, and I'm happy that we are debating this bill, and I am confident this bill will be passed here. And I would say, like my colleagues have said before, the bill is before us. We could argue that this is, this has taken longer than what it should have, because other provinces, 5 of them, going back to 1971, they started to look at this type of bill in their provinces, and 5 of them today have it, that include Manitoba, Alberta, Ontario, New Brunswick, and Prince Edward Island. British Columbia will join those 5 provinces as well. Mr. Speaker, franchises create and play an important role in our economy. My constituency, if you go to Surrey, and in particular Surrey Newton, you'll see many of the businesses are franchise owners, Mr. Speaker. And as the Canadian Franchise Association suggests, BC has more than 10,000 franchise outlets with $14 billion in sale and with 180,000 employees. And overall in Canada, 1.5 million Canadians are employed by these franchises. And Mr. Speaker, many new immigrants, many people in my constituency, and my constituency is the one that is made up of about 70 to 75% of immigrant communities. And many of them come to this country to make their lives better, and many of them get engaged in one or other sort of franchise system, not to create jobs for themselves, but also employ others, Mr. Speaker. And Mr. Speaker, I might add, yes, they are running their businesses. Yes, they employ many employees and create jobs for themselves, Mr. Speaker. But they go and do more than that, Mr. Speaker. And I would like to use this as an example. I have A&W franchise in just in the same complex that where my office is in Surrey Newton. Chris and Molly Parrish, not only are they very successful in running A&W, I think they have two restaurants, one in my neighborhood, another one in Strawberry Hill area, both in my constituency, Mr. Speaker. But they do a lot of good work for the community. Every year, but 2 or 3 times during the year, they have different kind of fundraiser activities that they engage themselves in and raise thousands of dollars for those worthy causes. Just recently in August, I believe August 27th, there was another one. They call it Cruise for Cause, where they have over 100 classic cars. They come there, or summertime, Mr. Speaker, every Thursday. There's a display of classic cars at that location, Mr. Speaker, and many people come and donate for either it was a MS or for cancer or for many other causes that they're involved in. So these are the people, these are the Canadian, Mr. Speaker, that actually make us proud, and that's what we proudly say, that we are the Canadians, and because the work that the Chris and Molly do in our communities to make our communities better. So, Mr. Speaker, when you look at a bill like this, you're helping those new immigrants, you're helping those entrepreneurs who have desire to engage in businesses. But, Mr. Speaker, when they are engaging, trying to participate in an agreement, if that agreement is based on the full disclosure and full information by the seller, then you make the right decision, and the chances of success are increased, Mr. Speaker, when that happens. And this bill will do that. And this bill also provide a remedy in the event that the franchisor or the person who's selling fail to comply with the Disclosure Act that is in this bill, Mr. Speaker. And I think the other more important part of this bill is that these franchisees now can form an association so that they can pool their resources together, pool their knowledge together, pool their research together, so that they can promote themselves and they can actually have a level playing field when they're dealing with multinational franchisors, Mr. Speaker. So that is also a good thing. And, Mr. Speaker, that remedy they can seek right here in British Columbia. That is an important part to understand. I might add, Mr. Speaker, in conclusion, many of the franchisors, no matter how large they are, there was a day when they started out as a one shop, mom and pop shop, Mr. Speaker, in most cases. And from there, they had an idea, they put it to practice, they were successful, and then they shared that with the others who were willing to participate in business, Mr. Speaker. And you know, those are the entrepreneurs and pioneers who built this country, build our province, to give us the life that we enjoy today, Mr. Speaker. So I think it's about time that we start to deal with, bring in legislations like this, which is substantive in nature when you talk about what is important to British Columbians, other than, or compared to what we've been doing for the last week or 10 days, Mr. Speaker, where non-issues were being brought by BC Liberals into this House, Mr. Speaker. So I'm happy that finally we are dealing with an issue that is important to British Columbians, and it put both franchisor and franchise at a level playing field, and remedies available to them in the event there's a dispute, Mr. Speaker. I know time is running very fast, and there are other speakers, Mr. Speaker, so I'll take my seat, and I'm really happy that finally we're debating this bill, and eventually we'll pass it. Thank you very much.